like my fancy graphics. Okay, let's get going, shall we? Catholic Pilot, episode number 31. I'm Captain Jeff, your host, and you're listening to Catholic Pilot, podcasting on a wing and a prayer. Broadcasting live from the palatial SQPN headquarters studio in Roswell, Georgia. I'm Captain Jeff, and have a great show today. I have a lot of stuff to talk about, so stay tuned. This is Richard speaking. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Okay, the last time we talked with each other, it was right before Thanksgiving. I was flying the Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, right before Thanksgiving break at the Thanksgiving Day. And I think I mentioned that Father Roderick, the CEO and founder of SQPN, Star Action Network, would be flying into town on Wednesday, and that we would be riding home together at the airport. And that's exactly what happened. I came in, actually came in about an hour and a half or so before, but the timing worked out pretty well. Came in from Chicago and went to the parking lot, got my car, came back, picked him up, went home. And I have been home ever since. I have not flown a trip since we last talked to each other, and that's because I am on vacation. My vacation period officially started on the 28th, and I'm off until January, or not. Well, I've been with Acme Air now for 2 years, and 22 years coming up next week, the 15th of December. And at this point in my career, I took 5 weeks of vacation, and I went ahead and just lumped the whole vacation together and did that. It's nice to be home right around the holidays, so thought I'd give this a shot. I've never been off this long. Ask me, are you going to remember how to fly an airplane? And it's kind of like riding a bike, except that, you're in the air and you're carrying 150 passengers, and you're going a lot faster than a bike. But, it's a same thing. So, no, I'm not going to forget how to ride an airplane. So, I'm going to enjoy this Advent season and the Christmas season coming up. And, okay, so going back, Father Roderick and I rode home from the airport on Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, and then he spent the Thanksgiving holiday with us. We also had David Sweeney and Maria Johnson, Steve Nelson, and my wife Linda and I, all 5 of us, 6 of us, I guess, got together, and we had our yearly strategic planning meeting for SQPN. It was very fruitful, and we did that on, we kind of all gathered together Friday afternoon and the evening, and then we spent all day doing our strategic planning. And then Saturday night we came back here and watched some football games. David Sweeney cooked up a great batch of Julia Child's chicken noodle soup. It was delicious. And drank wine, ate great soup, had sandwiches. It was a lot of fun. And on Sunday, everybody took. Maria had to leave early in the morning, and Father and Steve Nelson drove down to Orlando to do some research on Disney and the Harry Potter theme park, Universal in Orlando. And let's see, I was here. David was still here. He left on Monday, so David and I now got an episode of Catholic Weekend on that Saturday or Sunday. And yeah, that's about it. Had a great time. Took David to the airport on Monday, and well, you're kind of up to date. It's been nice not having to go back out and fly, being home with the family and such. And in the meantime, I have been meaning to do an episode because I have a lot of stuff to talk about. I probably should just hush right and just get on with it, shouldn't I? So let's see. What should we start with? How about some feedback?
Message for you, sir.
Hi, Captain Jeff. This is Matthijs from the Netherlands. I've been listening to your show for, I think, the last 5 or 6 episodes, and well, my compliments. I really like it, especially like the aircraft, the airliner stuff you share with us. So, you being Catholic pilot really is something I like. Um, I consider myself to be a flight simulator addict. So I'm playing Flight Simulator 10 for like several hours a week when I'm off work. Uh, so yeah, I love it. Um, Another thing is maybe just a question. Um, I travel by Schiphol Airport A or AS um, every day, go to work, and last Tuesday was like really snowy weather, and there were like trucks on the runway clearing it up for the planes to have like a smooth landing, I guess. And I wondered if you ever like performed a landing in snowy weather, and how that is for a pilot. If there's like a big difference between planes, like is it easier in DC? Well, DC-10 is old, I think. In a 737 or maybe even Tupolev, I don't know what planes you flew. But so that was my question. Um, Sorry for the lack of proper English. Um, I'm just a native Dutch speaker. I really love your show. Keep up the good work. You are definitely in my prayers. And have a safe next flight. Okay, bye bye.
Well, thank you, Matthias. And your English is great. In fact, a lot better than my Dutch, that's for sure. You would not want to hear me try to speak your language. Oh, yeah, and the flight simulator, I've always wanted to check that out. I've never played on a flight simulator on uh, other. Of course, I've gone to flight simulators. I do that every year, uh, being an air pilot. But of course, that's the real thing, full motion access simulators. But I hear that the computer-based, the private or personal computer-based flight simulators are pretty advanced. So that is cool. You'll have to tell me a little bit more about that. See what else? Oh, look at this.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it snow, yet let it snow. No, it doesn't show signs of stopping.
That is from my favorite jazz band. That's the Airmen About Let It Snow. I'll have some information about that in the show notes. Anyway, you mentioned in your feedback, Matthias, about the snow at Skull, Amsterdam International Airport, and the fact that you saw trucks out there kind of clearing off the snow off the runway. The reason for that really is for having a smooth landing. It's, well, many reasons why airport authorities have to go out there and clear off runways when you have a significant amount of contaminant, what we refer to snow and ice and whatever might be on top of the runway surface. And snow is bad for a couple of reasons. Well, number one kind of obscures the centerline markings of the runway, so it kind of impedes our visual aspect of coming in for landing. Number snow and ice really has a deleterious effect on your friction or your stopping capability, and so we need to have a nice, dry, as much as possible, clean, uncontaminated surface so that our braking can be more effective, because it's always important to be able to stop the airplane prior to the end of the runway. Doesn't always happen, but that's what we're shooting for. Another reason why we have runways cleared of snow and ice and any other contaminants is because when we're taking off, if we have to stop, first of all, before we get to the point where we might have to stop, we need to have as little friction possible during our takeoff roll, and we have to have enough friction, of course, to maintain the center line of the runway as we're picking up speed and getting to flying speed. But we also don't want to have a bunch of stuff being thrown by the tires and stuff into the wings, into the engines and that kind of thing, because the engines don't like having a bunch of snow and ice to them. And then, of course, if there's a situation where you have to stop prior to taking off, you want to make sure, again, that you have as much friction available as possible to stop the airplane. So that is the reason why the snows and such go out there on the runways and the taxiways. The taxiways so that we can actually see where the hard surfaces are, so we don't taxi off onto an unsupported area like grass or dirt or mud or whatever. And we also need to see, where those taxiways are, so they clear those out. And also, again, friction to be skidding off of taxiways and such as we're taxiing out to the runway for takeoff or coming back in after landing. So that is the reason for that. Thanks again for your feedback, Thijs. We appreciate it, and it's great to know that we have some people in the Netherlands listening besides Father Roderick. Let's see. We have some more feedback from my friend, Miss D.
Hey, Captain Jeff. This is Dee from the Catholic Vitamins podcast, and I just listened to episode 29 of Catholic Pilot, and I just wanted to say that if you're a curmudgeon for the way you look at piloting, I want to be piloted by curmudgeons all the time. So you make us feel good, I think, when you explain all the things and the way you explain things about piloting, and the way you look at it and the way you feel about what you do. So it's a good feeling, and makes me feel for wanting to be in the air. So just keep on being a curmudgeon. We love it. Bye.
Thanks. I'll continue to be a curmudgeon then. I got a lot of positive feedback regarding episode number 29 and my strong feelings about the direction in which piloting careers are headed, and my very strong opinion that we're going the way, and we need to get back to basics and fundamentals. And I'm going to have a couple things later in this episode about that, some stuff that supports my feelings and opinion about that subject. He is the wife of D. Tom Fox. You can hear him on several places. Catholic Podcast, Jeff King's, let's see, Catholic Foodie Podcast, and he also writes a lot of stuff. And you can find him sometimes as a guest writer and blogger on the Catholic Family Podcast and Catholic Family website. So